Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Brought to you by Photography as an Art, Harvey Randman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank, California. Attorney Ron Irwin has a new publication out called 5150 The Book. It's the story of Irwin as a young Marine who served 13 months in South Vietnam. Author Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, now available in paperback for only $17.95. And from our newest sponsor, State Farm agent Carla Green, who says, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Our guest today is an actress, director, and writer who started all the way from Canada. She's got 29 IMDb credits and is known for Unfinished Business, Danger Bay, and Scanners 2, The New Order. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely Isabelle Mejias. How you doing, my dear? Glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And thank Mr. Edelman for bringing you on. He's a good friend of both of us, and he was telling me, he said, you need to get this young lady on your show. I said, with pride, no problem at all. So, Canada, huh?
Eh?
Tell us your story.
Well, my story started in 1979.
Okay.
And I was a student in high school at your regular Montreal French-speaking high school. And a casting director came to our school looking to have us audition for a co-production with France for a movie that was going to take place in Paris. And they were looking for actors who could speak French with a French accent.
Okay.
Which was different than the Québécois accent. You had to speak with a more Parisian French. And so on a lark, a bunch of girlfriends and I went out and, we were handed scripts and we started reading the scripts, and then they called me back, and then another girlfriend of mine and I got called back 2 or 3 times, and then we had to do some improvs, and we got called back one more time, and then that was it. And about 2 weeks later, I got a call at my best friend's house, and they had been looking for me for 2 weeks. This is before cell phones, right? Okay. We barely had tapes to record messages at the time. And they said I'd gotten the part and they were going to be sending the script. I was like, oh, great. And then they finally sent the script, and my mom and I were looking at it and was like, wait, you're in this page, and then you're in this page, and then you're in this page. And my mom really thought I was just going to be an extra. And then I ended up getting cast as the lead actress in a co-production with France, and my first real summer job was 10 weeks on a film shoot. Wow.
So when did the acting bug actually bite you?
Well, it kind of bit me while I was filming because it wasn't something I had aspired to. I was going to be an oceanographer, I was going to be some kind of marine biologist or work in a zoo, the normal sort of ride horses and pet a lot of animals. That was going to be some kind of career I was going to shape for myself. And then, I ended up on a film set. So everything on that first film was really just sort of drawing on common sense instincts and, memorizing your lines, hitting your marks, and trying to find a truth or being guided to reveal my truth, right?
You. Now, your first movie was called?
Girls.
Girl.
Yes.
Okay. Nice title.
Yes, it was a summer, teen movie about 4 friends, one of whom gets pregnant, and then they have to decide what to do. Oh, and I'll leave it at that. Okay. Yes.
All right. Well, for those that don't know, please talk about the differences in Canada between Canada and the United States about actresses.
Well, I mean, from my personal experience, because I didn't sort of at the outset seek out a career acting, right? Okay. I was very fortunate and very lucky in that my first 3 parts hardly had any audition. I mean, I had auditioned for the first one, but the second one came as a result of the work that I was doing on the film set, and I guess a buzz between directors. And so this other director came to see me and then cast me in another movie. And then after that, I was given another role. So the first 3 were sort of like a complete, not your normal map.
Got you.
And so when I finally started working more regularly in film and television, I had a reputation, so I was being considered for better parts. But what happened was that there weren't that many casting directors.
Ah.
And it was the 80s tax shelter, right? So
Okay.
there were a lot of American co-productions coming to Canada. And if you didn't audition, let's say, for Summer Park or one of these movies that was like really teeny bopper, 80s movies, then you couldn't audition for The Bay Boy or The Lucky Star or some of the really good movies that I was able to do. My agent would say, you can't say no to this person.
Right.
Because if you say no to this person, you're not going to get that one. And then I'd get that movie, and then you'd say, you can't say no to this movie, because if you don't do this movie, A, I won't get a commission, but B, I won't send you out on that movie.
Gotcha.
So it was a bit, again, it's like I didn't have a marketing head on my shoulders. I wasn't looking to be in, Maclean's or whatever the big Canadian publications were at the time. So I was basically, my personal thing was I would look and say, where's this movie shooting?
Right.
I'd be like, Zimbabwe? I want to go to Zimbabwe.
Sure.
I want this part. So it was really about the geography for me, and then not necessarily about the story, because I just didn't really have a say. I didn't know that I had a voice, and I didn't trust that if I put my foot down and ignored what they said, that it would pan out for me.
Got you. So it is a lot of competition in Canada to get a job.
Yes, there was competition in Canada, but not like it was in the U.S. because I sort of came in at a certain level in Canada, so it was a little bit, I was sort of, people were working harder to get to where I was than I could appreciate.
For those who don't know, please give us the name of a couple of the top actors in Canada right now.
Oh my gosh, well, Kiefer Sutherland.
Hey, Kiefer Sutherland, isn't he on that book that you have right there?
Yes.
Can you
Well,
show
I brought it in only because you were asking for DVDs, and my career ended before DVDs started.
Can you show us that picture, please?
So this was this is really, this was from The Bay Boy.
Okay. All right. All right, and that's you and Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes.
I'll be blessed.
I was in his first movie.
His first movie?
We worked together.
Wow.
So I did a lot of first movies. Because the way it worked in Canadian film was, if it was a co-production with the U.S., you had to cast a Canadian actor at a certain level of a certain role, right? So at least a strong supporting role, because it's all about points.
Yes. One thing about that country is the fact that Toronto looks like New York City, and they get a lot of work up there.
Yeah, and Chicago sometimes.
Oh, yes.
And Montreal looks like Boston.
Yes.
And I don't know what Vancouver looks like. I forget.
I was going to say Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's interesting that people can go there, make films, and come back in the United States, make that money, and have a lot of fun.
Well, there's dollar exchange, there's proximity, there's lack of culture shock.
Yes.
So things like that.
I heard you were talking about what your mother was saying to you when you were getting into this business. So obviously you're getting support from your mother, your family, and other members?
Yes, my parents were very supportive.
Good.
My dad, so the second movie that I had the fortune of being a part of was a movie called The Lucky Star, and it's very, very hard to find. And it was about a young boy who believed in Westerns and good guys and bad guys, and he was Jewish, and he got pinned with the Jewish star. And so when he got pinned with the Jewish star, he became a sheriff. And so with his girlfriend, me, we captured an SS agent and hid him away and kept him in a barn. And this took place in Amsterdam during the war. And the SS agent was Rod Steiger.
Rod Steiger.
And so when
heard that name before.
Yes, and Louise Fletcher was another big part in the movie, and I had no idea who they were. I was I freshly turned 18 on my second film, getting used to catering on film sets, and
Catering. That's my favorite place on the set.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I just remember my dad completely flipping out that I was going to be working with Rod Steiger, and I was like, I don't know. And I think that attitude that I had, because I didn't know him, and I didn't bow to him, and he abused everybody, not in a mean way, but it's like if somebody wanted to be on their knees and offer him coffee, he'd be like taking it, but I didn't know who he was. And so I was completely, I mean, on some levels, a little bit disrespectful, but he really liked it. And I remember one day we were on the set and it was freezing, and his Winnebago was like 5 feet from the camera, and ours was like a quarter mile. And after a shoot, I just ran into his Winnebago.
He's a star.
This is right. And this is again because I didn't know that. I didn't understand or appreciate film.
Pecking order,
all that stuff. And I ran into his Winnebago, and he was kind of in the process of getting dressed with dressers there attending to him, and he basically got caught with his pants down, and I'm freezing and stopping my feet, and the dresser is like yelling at me because I've just walked into his Winnebago. I didn't even knock, and I was like, it's freezing out there. I'm in like 40s clothes and everything. There's no padding. There's nothing. We're just not dying, but anyway, and Rod Steiger just looked at me and smiled and let me stay in there. And later he got nominated, I don't know for what, for a role at the Montreal Film Festival, and he couldn't attend. And they, in case he won, they needed somebody to go and accept the award, and he had me go and
see how things happen.
He didn't win, so thank God I didn't embarrass him further by saying something stupid. But but there was a whole brouhaha over that. So.
I see a lot of actors, they'll stand up in front of the camera, something stupid. They'll just keep saying something stupid.
I'm famous for that.
Yeah, these things happen.
These
things happen for a reason. Okay, that was 1980 when you did Girls, and then again in 1980 you had another movie called The Lucky Star.
That was the one with Rod Steiger. Yes.
Okay.
And so I don't know. It was just it was a gem of a film. It was an amazing opportunity. And again, that shot in Amsterdam. So the first one shot in France. The second one shot in Amsterdam.
Wow.
Then I went to Paris. So it was all.
See all the benefits you get by being an actress and an actor.
Exactly, right?
I think I got to be an actor.
So I think really what I love is travel.
Traveling.
And the cultural, the interaction, and
the food.
And the food, yes, and the people, and
people,
and the camaraderie.
Camaraderie, yes. Yes.
So.
We were very close to it. I'm a journalist, and we would do junkets, and they would take us all over the country and sometimes out of the country. You get a taste of what it's like for an actor or an actress. It's a lot of fun. A lot of hard work, but it is a lot of fun. Definitely. Okay. Then fast forward to 1984, and here comes the movie Unfinished Business.
Yeah, so that was a remake of a movie that was done in the 60s called Nobody Waves Goodbye. And Dawn Owen cast me as the daughter of the lead characters in the 60s movie.
Okay.
So it was a bit of a coming-of-age movie.
All right.
And there was a lot of attention because I guess the Nobody Waved Goodbye had put Canada on the map.
Right.
As a as filmmakers, and so it was sort of inheriting that mantle, or what do you?
Yes.
Yeah, and then and that was a fun movie, and I was the lead, and it was very easy peasy 80s movie, and it was great. I was recognized and I was nominated for an award. I lost, but I was nominated for the Canadian Genie Award, which is the equivalent of the American Oscar.
Exactly.
On a smaller
scale.
On a smaller
Now, we
scale.
just happen to have a clip of that movie. Can you roll that, Tony?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I like your...
Space? Yeah, it's all right. It's,
space.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I need lots of it. Space, that is.
I understand.
You sure?
We all need space.
Jesse! Oh, you are back. It's the projector.
Oh, well, all right. Beautiful. And who was that young man with you?
Peter Spence.
Okay. Indeed. One of the early movies that you got in those days, huh?
Yeah, actually, you know what? Come to think of it, so Peter was also cast in The Bay Boy.
Oh, okay.
So we worked again together in The Bay Boy with Dan Petrie afterwards.
So when you are working in Canada, do you have foreigners coming, Americans coming in to work with you, or is it all just Canadian?
No, I mean, some of the movies were co-productions,
Gotcha.
so we had American actors work with us. Unfinished Business was a 100% Canadian cast.
Gotcha.
And I mean, when we did The Bay Boy, I mean, Kiefer was Canadian.
Canadian.
And
okay.
The international cast, I think, was Liv Ullmann.
Oh, okay.
She was Swedish.
Swedish, yes.
And I can't remember who would have been American on that film. So.
Gotcha. Because I know when they do the casting and the audition, that's a process. That is a process to get all these people together.
Yeah, because again, it's this sort of, it's the business, right?
Yeah,
this is the business part of filmmaking.
Filmmaking,
if
right.
you just carve out the creative part, is the point system.
Right. I read something the other day. I didn't know this, that casting directors that's not a category in the Academy Awards.
I know, right?
There's something wrong with that.
I think so. I mean, because it's such an alchemy, right? That
Yes.
they have the power of suggestion.
Yes.
Obviously, the
Suggestion.
directors and the producers. I mean, I think if it's television, it's the producers. But if it's film, I think the director has a little more weight
Yes.
in figuring out the final magic, right?
Yes.
Of an ensemble. And I mean, you have some excellent casting directors.
Yes.
Don't ask me.
Yes. Who are they?
Who are they?
I've got a couple in mind, and I've already extended an invitation to come on the show, so we can talk about that and see what we can do to get the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences to make a new category.
That would be a great.
I couldn't believe it. You got directors, you got all these different categories, but you don't have one for a casting director. It just didn't sound right.
I think that's a really sort of thoughtful and valid petition.
Yes. Let's see what we can get out of them. 1986, you got the role of Monique in Philip Marlowe, Private Eye.
Oh yeah, that was with Powers Booth.
Powers Booth.
Yes.
Didn't he just pass about 6 months ago?
Yeah, he passed. I think it was 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more. But yeah.
Powers Booth. Good
So
actor.
I mean, I only met him that
Yes.
week when I think I played a French maid.
Yes.
That I'm very good at. I'm very
Yes.
good at the French maid.
Okay. 1987, you did Danger Bay, the TV series.
Yes.
That was fun.
And that was fun. And interestingly, again, that was actually on Danger Bay. I think it was one of the only roles, other than my first time,
Okay.
where, I mean, because the first time doesn't count, but where I was given the part. So they just cast me. And they didn't see what my take was going to be on the character or not. And it was such a liberating experience for me. And I ended up getting nominated for that. But I thought, I don't know, it was just like, oh, they believe in me. They believe that I'm capable of doing this part. And in that process of allowing me that freedom, I gave more. I took bigger risks. I was more unabashed. I was less self-conscious. Then when you audition, you almost frame yourself into something
Oh, yes.
before you even fully appreciate or understand the character, because sometimes you're given an hour, sometimes you're given 2 days, sometimes you're given, a little bit longer, and then what do? You call your acting coach and you start working on it, and you rehearse, and you get there and you mess it all up. Or, you just show up and,
And do what you do have
and
to
do what you do. And it was one of the best gifts I was ever given.
Excellent. I hear, and of course, on a show like this, we talk to a lot of actors, and of course, their idea about auditions, it goes from top to the bottom. Some of them like it, some of them don't like it. Some of them consider it a teaching experience, which is a good attitude.
Or a learning experience, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
A learning experience, yeah. Well, that's interesting, right? Because I ended up on the other side.
On the other side of
camera.
it, right?
Yeah.
That's right. You were directed one time.
I was directed, and I eventually became a director.
But that was different.
It was different, and it was. I felt that because of my experience as an actress,
Right.
that I would have this special connection with an actor,
Right.
that they could trust that what was going to come out of my mouth was all about helping to empower them to take risks, right? Because it's all about being alive.
Yes.
And you don't get that a lot.
Right.
And interestingly enough, it's really hard with children, which I ended up working with kids. And I kind of started off, I was 17, so I was still a child when I started, but there's something that can be so forced and canned about a poor young thing trying to learn lines, that
Yes.
when you capture or when you come across someone that's still raw, you're trying to sort of capture that magic, right? You're trying to bottle whatever that is and make sure it lasts for the whole episode or whatever you're doing.
Yes.
And so what I learned, which was a little bit devastating, having spent all this money and all these scene studies and everything, that when I would be auditioning, I would know within the first 5-10 seconds if that person was going to be right for the part.
Very
Sometimes
good.
before they even opened their mouth.
Wow. Very good.
And it was so upsetting on some level, because I was like, well, wait, what about all this craft, about all this work that I've put into this, and you come out and you do it, but there's something about, you just know the essence is just coming off you. And I think what it has to do is that before you even walk in that room, you got to have it dialed in, so that when the casting director is going, oh, hi, Isabelle, how are you? What have you been up to? That you're somehow staying in character, into that character. You know what I mean? So
I think also along another line, when it comes to getting that training that you need, getting up on the stage. A lot of actors and actresses do not like to get up on the stage.
well, yeah, that's terrifying. You
It
know
is.
why?
Why?
Because that's where the discipline comes in, where you have to somehow find that magic and recreate it and recreate it and recreate it and still keep it fresh, right? And you have a boatload of lines to know, right?
Yes.
And there's something not very glamorous about theater, the way there is about. And that's really just, I think, what I love the most about theater is not actually the performance, but it's the road that gets you from that first script reading to that first performance.
Yes.
It's that journey. It's the exercise of exploring,
Right.
of setting aside stuff that's stupid, of trying new things, of being completely bold and daring, even if it's just going to get canned in the end for the production. But in exploring everything that is sort of, just, hey, why don't we try doing this tap dancing? Like, there's no tap dancing in this. I'm like, I know there's no tap dancing. You know what? Why don't you just do this scene? Like, come in and tap dance this scene for me. Half the time, I don't do this a lot. I did this for one child, and
Okay.
it was the best thing I ever did for her, and she ended up getting cast.
Great.
But it was just like, let's just try different things.
Right.
And in some things, you find a nuance that you capture, and you throw everything else away.
Well, as
and
you know,
build on that.
Exactly. As you know, there are 8 styles of acting, and like one of my good friends, Ted Lange, he went the Shakespearean way, and a lot of people will find a different way for them to learn acting, as you know. What is your favorite style?
Oh my gosh,
What was your favorite?
I think my favorite style is it, and I don't know what kind of style it is. It's just being that canvas, and I mean, it's the style of just being brave,
Yes.
and it's the style of putting trust in the people that are there to make you shine.
Yes.
And part of it is a surrender, because your instincts are telling you, I have to be in control, right?
Yeah.
And the other part is, I don't want to look stupid, and I really don't want to look fat, and I don't want to look ugly. And does this make me look fat? But you know what I mean? It's like, okay, maybe it's not a,
Yes. I
oh my
shouldn't
God.
say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There are 2 kinds of fats, F-A-T and P-H-A-T. There's fat and there's fat.
And there's fat, yes.
Yes. You
Wow.
hear that all the time on the street.
Yeah, well, I don't hear that anymore,
Yeah.
but
Don't need to. Fast forward, 1991, Scanner 2,
oh
The
yeah,
New Order.
not Scanners 1, Scanners 2.
Right, Scanners 2.
That
Tell
was
us about that movie. What is the synopsis of that movie? I saw a little trailer.
Oh my gosh, you're asking me to remember something I did like 30 years ago.
Okay.
Like 30 years ago.
Okay.
What do I remember about that movie? I don't remember the story very much, other than it was a sequel. Oh, it was about, okay, yes. It was about telepathy, right?
Right, yes, we can
And
think about
I
it.
used to say that the
Yes.
scene was telepathetic, because
Yeah.
of course, as an ingenue, you have to have the love scene, and of course, it has to be telepathic.
Gotcha.
And for me, I was too embarrassed. When you talk about the trust
Yeah.
of being, of surrendering, I was way too self-conscious for stuff like that. That was like where my logic was like, oh, this is not going to work out. Why did they cast me in this? So.
Okay. Well, we got a short clip. Let's take a look at it.
Oh,
Thanks, son.
okay. Here we go.
Okay, everybody freeze. If we are going to save the society, we're going to have to cure crime.
You bastard!
Scanners are now getting stronger.
I want him. A power like yours, not to use it as the real crime. I will.
I was the screaming. That's
We saw you for about that long, yes.
Yeah, I was the screaming ingenue.
Okay.
Ish.
Okay. From 1987 to 1992, you did several episodes in Street Legal, the TV series. Mm-hmm. That was sounds like a nice role.
Hookers in the cold.
Hookers and
Or no, actually, I had a really good part. I was and I still remember the line. I want to keep my baby, Mr. Dominic. I want to keep my baby. And I played this pregnant teen girl that was having her, about to give birth, and the child was going to be trafficked.
Got you. Wow.
Like television actually gave us more opportunities in many respects.
Yeah.
To try to be cast in different roles, than some of the features did.
Right. It's amazing how television can do a movie in a week, in 1 week.
But the opportunities, right, to just be
Yes.
a little bit more, extravagant or quirky, or just try different things. So,
Right.
I mean, we still had to audition, but
Yes. Sadly, your last IMBD role was in 1996 when you played Catabra in the TV movie Psychic Detectives.
okay, well, we won't talk about that.
That was your last movie.
That was my last movie.
Yes.
Okay, see, I'd forgotten.
Okay.
I'd forgotten about that. That
Okay.
was probably, I don't even think I ever saw the final product, so if you pull something up there to show me, I will be not only mortified, but, it's one of those embarrassing things. That's actually after I came, this is interesting.
Yes.
So I came to, it's interesting to me, right? Probably not interesting. I hate it when people say, oh, this is interesting, which is what I just did,
All right.
and then it's not interesting.
Okay.
Right? Or somebody says, this is funny. And you're
Yes.
like,
I wasn't
I don't
funny.
think so.
Okay.
I don't think that was funny.
Again, opinions.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I came to the U.S. in 1991-ish. I was
Okay.
sponsored, and I had an agent, and I was coming out because I was going to work in American film. And I got here, and in Montreal and in Canada, I was literally Isabelle Mejias, not Mejias, Mejias. Nobody pronounced the J. And I got to play Scottish girls. I got to play all-American girls. I got to play French maids. I got to play drug addicts, pregnant teens, whatever. And one of the things that was a bit of a, took the wind out of me. And, obviously I came in riding my high horse with my, my 26 credits at the time.
Yes.
Of going, well, I have all this work. Why am I not being judged on the body of my work? And I would get stopped. And this is before J-Lo. This is before all the Latinas that have come through the movement of finally empowering,
Yes.
the Latin voice. Is that the minute I came into the U.S., I became Latina. And up until then, I'd been like, well, I'm Canadian.
Right.
And yes, my mom is French. Yes, she's Parisian French. And yes, my dad is Spanish. He's from Spain.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden I'm Latina. And the casting directors were like, no, you're going to go out and do this. I can't even do the Spanish freaking accent, right? You got to come in, you got to talk like this, whatever, right? And this is what you're going to be. I'd go up. At first I was going up for the American roles. And then they'd go, she's a little too ethnic.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, a little too ethnic. I'm like, okay. And then I'd get the part of go audition for the part of the Spanish role. And can I do the Spanish role? I can do it if it's in Spanish. I can't do the accent of the chica.
Yes.
Pero hablo español. That I can speak. But that whole, the I can't say it, but the accent, that part. And so I got extremely frustrated.
You should.
I got really angry.
You should.
I was the whole range of why is this happening to me? I'm a victim, all this stuff, all that, massive
Take out
stuff.
a lawsuit.
Huh?
Take a look.
No, I didn't. That wouldn't occur to me. And then I got a commercial agent, and they were like, on the commercial side, they were like, look, she's got a Hispanic name. She's going to count for the Hispanic. So I was the Latin Betty for a McDonald's ad. And, you know, and I did a whole bunch of commercials, like national commercials, where apparently I was Caucasian-y enough, but to count on the Latino side for the Spanish market. It was very, very messed up. And so my agent at the time, don't ask me who because I now I've forgotten the person's name, said, okay, screw this. We're going to give you another name. I'm like, you can't give me another name. Why am I going to have another name? I have a whole career of this. Now I'm turning my back on this. And they did. And so we didn't, I did a couple of shows under an, what's it called?
Your married name, maiden name?
No, we took Mejias.
Right.
And we did no Mejias, and we scrambled the letters around, and I became Isabelle Jameson. And Jameson is an anagram for no Mejias.
Hollywood.
And the first time I went out with my credits that nobody was going to bother to check, remember, this is like before computers and everything, I had all the credits, but we changed the title to no Mejias, Jameson, and I got the part. Nobody said I was too ethnic.
Right.
And after that, I could cry right now. I was so upset, I stopped. I stopped acting.
Wow.
I was so angry. And Dan Petrie, bless his heart, knew all the struggles I was going through, and also felt that I probably had something to say on the other side of the camera, and encouraged me to write, encouraged me to move behind. And I was like, yeah, I want to move behind the camera. And so to do that, I prepared myself, and I said, I'm going to go to do something I've wanted to do. I'm going to direct theater. And so I got the rights to this play, which was called Come Good Rain, which was about the life of an actor who I'd worked with on a movie in Africa, George Saremba. And it's about a guy who has survived his execution under the reign of Idi Amin. So he's been shot on the side of the road, and he has been left for dead. And it's his journey leaving Uganda, during Entebbe, Kampala, all that stuff. And it was a one-man show. And so I bought the rights, and I worked with George. And to produce the play, I ended up shooting a little video, which hadn't been done. And I sent the video out to everybody, and that's how I got the money to make the play. And then we did the play, and then I got nominated for an NAACP award. And that was, I lost again. I'm 3 for 3. And I took that film, my acting experience, and some writing that Dan had helped me, mentored me, and I applied to the American Film Institute, and then I got into the directing program.
All right.
And
so you've had quite an experience.
Yeah, and so I moved into directing, and then I got to do, great syndicated television.
Well, you've had an opportunity. I'm glad you told us about your life then, because we're going to take a short break here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what it was like, your new occupation that you do now. Definitely. I'm Ron Brewington, your host here on The Actor's Choice. My guest today, actress Isabelle Mejias. The studio of Harvard Brandon Photography as an Art is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Harvey has been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about this offer right here on The Actor's Choice. 5150, the book, is the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. As a young Marine, Irwin spent 13 months in Chulai, Republic of Vietnam. His experience there, where nearly 3 million Americans went to war, was, as he puts it, 5150. The book is currently available in paperback at lulu.com. That's lulu.com. And by the way, Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and Vietnam veterans of America. Back to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, is a new book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon. Get your copy today. And now a word from my favorite agent, my State Farm agent, Carla Green.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them, but a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just 4 walls and 4 wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
Thanks, Carla. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. For more information, call 213-239-9675. That's 213-239-9675. The 5th annual Lamert Park Village Festival of Stage Readings continues this coming weekend. Plays will be read at several venues in the Lamert Park area. For August 31st, choose ABW, H Opera, and Shadow in Time. For September 1st, there's The Unseen, and for September 2nd, there's Blues in My Coffee and Dr. Du Bois and Miss Overton. All tickets are $15 each. For more information, call 626-7013. That's 626-692-7013. And finally, if you have a product, a service, or an upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. And our prices are very affordable. Thank you. This is The Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington, your host. Our guest today, actress Isabelle Mejias. Well, before the break, Isabelle, you told us that you made a decision to leave the business. We understand that. So, having to make that decision, what was that like for you?
I mean, it was just a layer of like frustrations.
Yes.
And I didn't think at the time that I had the guts to see past it.
Gotcha.
And honestly, I mean, I'm being honest, I was feeling really sorry for myself. But I just wanted to find a different way to have what I felt inside me, like a creative outlet, matter.
Okay.
And I didn't feel that my acting was exceptional enough that it was going to even make a difference in people's lives.
Gotcha. Well,
so, you know, I recognized my plateau.
Yeah, plateau.
But I didn't feel that it was, you know, that was the end of my story.
Well, you got involved with a good group. Don't, if you'll run that video, this is the group that you got involved with.
I am mending kids.
I am.
I am mending kids.
No matter your race,
no matter your religion,
no matter your ethnicity,
no matter where you live,
every child deserves a healthy life.
I am.
I am mending kids.
Mending more kids in more countries all around the world.
I am a mother.
I am a father.
I am a brother.
I am a surgeon.
I am a nurse.
I am a volunteer.
I am a teacher.
mending lives,
Mending hearts.
mending families.
I am mending kids.
Join us.
Join us.
Join me.
And help us save a life today.
We are mending kids.
Outstanding. Mending kids. What's your job there? What do you do?
Well, now, after several years, I'm now the director of global outreach for Mending Kids. So I help in different ways.
Okay.
I help with outreach. I help with fundraising. I
Yes.
help with starting surgical missions, so where
Yes.
we identify a country and we're invited to come in and bring pediatric surgical services there. And so I help, well, with not just me, I mean, we're a whole group.
Right.
We put the building blocks together to be able to deploy surgical teams into the developing world to help kids that are dying of various congenital diseases and build sustainable programs. So it's not just humanitarian, it's also teach a man to fish.
Okay. What's it like for you helping those people who are not as fortunate as we are?
I feel so good. I mean, it was a way Mending Kids in a way found me, or we found each other. It was a way at the beginning to use my storytelling skills to tell the Mending Kids story, and it gave me a sense of purpose, that my storytelling skills that I had sort of developed at AFI and along the way, AFI being the American Film Institute, that I could bring stories that mattered to people's attention, and that it was just it was a sense of service. And having grown up in film and having grown up, producing little short films in a guerrilla style filmmaking, I realized that I had the skills to be able to sort of grow with the organization. And so then I became a mission coordinator, which was it's basically like being a production coordinator / line producer on any TV show. And I had my cast, right? I had the patients, I had my stars, I have the surgeons, I have the location, I have to get the surgeons to the location, I have to make sure the flow of the week goes. It's very filmic, right?
Right.
And then you have to beg, borrow, and steal from to get the equipment there and to do it in a way that's not going to break the bank.
So you put all these people on planes and you send them to what countries haven't you touched yet?
Well, haven't I touched a lot? But I've been to Mongolia, I've been to Christmas Island, I've been to Mozambique, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Panama, Costa Rica, Honduras, Peru, China, Cambodia. We've been to different places, and I've been on surgical missions where I've traveled with the team. And when I'm on the ground at the time, I would be we have to get the team to this place. If there's a complication, I have to figure out how to solve that complication. I have to get the supplies through customs. I have to, meet with ministers of health, or sometimes I've met with first ladies, and sometimes I've gone out on, to speak at local rotaries, just to bring awareness and often to try and get the local people to realize that there's this need and that they also have a say in making sure that they can support, create sustainability.
Isabelle, those eyes of yours have seen poverty, you've seen sickness. What's that feel like?
In the beginning, when I first started, I would be, at the end of a surgical mission, I'd literally be at the airport crying and sobbing.
Gotcha.
Going, there's so much need. How is this even possible? How can you even get from point A to point B? And then there was this part of me that was, we make these assumptions that so we have these kids that are often dying, and they need these surgeries, right? But there's the other part of it, which is because they are like this, therefore they are not happy.
Right.
Right? Or because they don't have an iPhone, therefore they are not happy. And we have a tendency to impose our baggage on different cultures.
Okay.
And sometimes it's valid, but often it's like don't judge their state of mind. Right? It's like, I'm going to go save this patient. We as a group. We're going to save this child, and we're going to fix his heart. I don't need the parents to go, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And that expectation, sometimes people come in and they go, I'm going to do this, and you're going to do this for me.
Right.
Forget that.
Forget that, right.
Because if you're really giving, and if you're really doing, the outcome and the expectation are not a factor. They don't play into it. And the minute anybody does that, whether it's in real life or acting, I'm going to do this, it's going to be so good, and you're going to love it.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So if it's a gift, it's a gift.
Right.
That's it.
Let's take a look at some of your clients. I brought along a couple of photos with me. Here's one.
Oh, that was a boy in Haiti, yes.
Okay. Is that you?
Yes, that's me.
On the left side there?
That's a little girl that we did on a mission to China last year. And and the little I don't know if this one little girl, I can't really see. I think she might be from Armenia or Guatemala.
Okay.
And that's some of our surgeons. And our surgeons are amazing. They are amazing. With all our, our medical baggage that we have here in the U.S., that's a little baby from Mozambique who is a burn patient. Okay. So we do catastrophic burns in Mozambique.
Okay.
And what's amazing and beautiful about some of these kids is that clearly this child has been burnt. This little boy had a heart surgery, was about to go into heart surgery. This is the boy that's on our invitation. But anyway, that
little guy right there.
Yeah, these kids go without pain medication, right? So you're looking at a little child that's had 70% of its body burned. They might have some aspirin. That's it, right? They would be at the Grossman Burn Foundation right now on IVs of pain fluids.
Yes.
And it's fascinating to know how we tend to maybe over-medicate the idea that nobody's going to feel anything, right? In our world, don't feel anything, don't feel any pain, don't, And on the other side, you have these kids that have nothing and that somehow find this resilience and this strength and this core to keep on.
Yes.
I remember being in Mozambique and we were on a ward and this little boy had a wound and it was completely open. And you could see the fascia, you could see the tendons, you could see the bone, and you could see the pus, and it was starting to be like, this kid's going to get his leg amputated. Yes. And the doctors are all around him trying to figure out how they're going to approach the problem. And he has one of those early cell phones that don't even have any graphics on it. And he's just punching buttons and he's kind of wincing because they're poking around. He's not crying, he's not screaming. And we're all looking at each other going, how is this possible? This is excruciating pain. So it's a fascinating study between, the spectrum of what's tolerable.
Yes.
And
we only have a few more minutes, but you have an upcoming fundraiser because it costs money for what you guys are doing.
It does. And we can't do it without, support. And so we have a gala coming up in November. It's our annual gala. It's going to be at the Skirball Center, and we're honoring our heroes. And one of them is Miller's Long Beach Children and Women's Hospital, because they've given us a lot of teams and instruments to do some missions with them.
Yes.
And one of them is Dr. Robert Bernstein, who's an amazing orthopedic surgeon who's been all over the world, who gives us time. And he's going to be the chair of the Shriners Hospital in Portland. And then the other one is Sienna Dugan, and she's the one who did that movie, I Am Mending Kids, and she's grown up going on missions.
Wow.
And now she's studying global health.
Wow.
So,
Date, place, and time again?
November 17 at the Skirball Center, which is a Saturday.
Okay. How do you get tickets?
Well, you can go on our website, www.mendingkids.org, and you can just go on our events, and it's right there.
Wow.
So it'd be great.
I can see the big smile on your face. You really enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, this is life and death.
Yes.
You spend all your life trying to create life and death, and then you take a sidestep out of your comfort zone and you come face to face with reality, and it's great.
Wow. You ever thought about writing a book about your experiences?
I have thought about it. I have to go through about 15,000 photographs, but yes, I don't want to forget.
Right.
And I've learned a few things along the way, and maybe some of those are interesting.
Okay. How do you want to be remembered?
Oh my gosh, how do I want to be remembered? As an actress?
Yes. As a person.
As a person, somebody who will go to the ends of the earth to get something done for you.
You still go to the movies?
Yes, I do.
And you say to yourself, what do you say to yourself? You say at that theater.
No, I don't break down movies and go, oh, I could have done this better. I am really an escapist fan. I love really good action movies. I really do.
Yes.
And I love art genres and everything else. But at the end of the day.
Gotcha. Isabelle, if you will, one more time before we get off the air. Date, place, and time for your fundraiser. That's very important.
It's called Imagine, and it will be at the Skirball Cultural Center on November 17 at 5:30.
Yes.
And if you can support it in any way, we will be very happy.
Okay. Well, we thank you very much for stopping by today. And please tell Brother J. Adler from Amen what I said.
Okay.
I'll see him on Monday.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Special thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brauman, Photography as an Art, Ron Irwin's 5150 The Book, Larry Buford, Book Up to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and of course, State Farm agent Carla Green. Much thanks to our guests, and best wishes to you in the future. And to our ever-growing audience, and I mean ever-growing, we're getting a lot more people watching us. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.